I need to know, I need to know, I need to know. You need to know, you need to know, you need to know. We all need to know. What do you need to know? What do I need to know? What do we all need to know? Today, by the special grace of God, we are going to be looking at another Bible verse, the book of Proverbs, chapter 22, verse 6. Proverbs 22, verse 6. Bible says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. What is the meaning? Many of us, we misinterpret this place. We thought it's a promise that when you train a child, he or she will not go astray. Yes, and the answer is also no. So the author of that proverb is primarily King Solomon, a major contributor to Proverbs. So the audience, who are the audience? That is, Solomon was writing to young men in ancient Israel, especially for training in wisdom. As we know that Solomon was very, very wise. So what is the gen or wisdom literature? Proverbs are generally principles, not absolute promises. It's generally principles. It's a principles, but it's not promises. So Proverbs the book of Proverbs offers observations about how life usually works when people follow God's way. It is not a book of guarantees. It is not a book of guarantee. It's like a conditional book. If you do this, this will happen. If you do this, this will happen. If you don't do this, this will not happen. But of wise instruction. It is not a book of guarantees, but it's a book of wise instruction. So what is the literal context? The literary context of Proverbs chapter 22 verses. Proverbs chapter 22 contains various sayings about life, about money, about parenting, and character. Proverbs chapter 22. Verse 6. Now verse 6 highlight the importance of early moral. That verses that we read now talks about early moral and spiritual instruction in a child's life. How moral, how spiritual instruction in a child's life. So what is the terms, the key terms and meaning? Train up. That is Hebrew, anok. Train up, anok. Meaning to dedicate. Train up, that means to dedicate, initiate, or start pointing to beginning a child journey intentionally and directionally. Intentionally, that is, you dedicate, you initiate which side the child must go, left or right. Don't forget, you can be training a child, but your character trains a child more than your words. Your character, your attitude, train a child. If you are training a child, don't steal. And you yourself, he sees you are bringing a lot of things. And if somebody asks you, where do you sit? Maybe your husband or your wife, that's don't forget about that one. It's God that provides. You have to let them know where you get those things. So you need to know that to train up means dedicate, because in Hebrew means hanok. That means to dedicate, to initiate, or start pointing to beginning a child journey intentionally and directionally. So in the way he should go, that is literally meaning that is according to his way. According to his way, which can mean according to God's way. Not according to your own way, not according to your child way, but according to God's way, or according to the child natural bent or personality. A child that you see is very good in electronics, is very good. So you also guide him or her spiritually and intentionally. Both interpretation imply intentional, wise, and tailored instruction. So you have to intentional, wise, and tailored instruction. When he is old, what does it mean? When he is old refers to maturity. Refers to maturity, not necessarily old age. But when the child reaches independence or adulthood, A lot of people are old in numbers, but in terms of character, in terms of assimilation, in terms of behavior, they are not old. He will not depart from it. What does it mean? This is a general outcome. When you train a child, when he get old, he will not depart from it. This is a general outcome, not a universal promise. It's not a universal promise. If you don't train, you will not go. So you need to know that it's just a general outcome, not universal promise. Children train when usually hold on their values. Children train well, usually hold on to their values, but there can be expectations. So theological significance. So parental responsibility. Parents have a divine role in shaping a child's moral and spiritual life. Early formation matters. The values instilled during youth form a foundation that often lasts. The moral, just like a fish that is not smoked, you can still burn it. But when it's smoked, when it dried, you can't burn it. So, good honor, God's honor, faithful parenting. Even though every child has a free will, you can train your child, and it may not follow what you have trained because of friendship, association. So, common interpretation. What are the common interpretations? Some take this verse as a guarantee. No. If I raise my child right, they will never go astray. But many righteous parents have had rebellious children, just as some neglectful parents have children who are turned out faithful. So it now depends on God. You put everything on God. It's not about that training. It's about God's intervention. A lot of pastors, their children are rebellious. And a lot of smokers, drunkards, you see their children, they are very, very faithful. Proverbs gives general truth, not absolute outcome. It gives general truth, not absolute outcome. So what are the right applications for today? In that Proverbs chapter 22, verse 6. Parents and caregivers should teach, model, and nurture godly principles in children from an early stage. Don't be going to church and leave your children behind. Let your children have something doing. Participate in church, quiz, do so that they will be able to know that what they are doing. So don't just leave them at home or just be shouting at them. So parents and caregivers should teach, model, and nurture godly principles in children from an early age. Discipleship should be intentional and tailored, helping children grow in faith, in character, and in wisdom. Because you have to, don't just be discipled outsider, disciple your children as well, so that it's going to be intentional and you tailor them. That is helping them in faith, helping them in character, and helping them in wisdom. So the verse, that is the verse 6, Proverbs 22 verse 6, the verse encourages hope and consistencies in parenting. You have to hope and consistency in parenting, even though through difficulties, just hope. So the common interpretation is that some people thought, oh, if I train my child, no, when it's old, no. So it's not a guarantee. It's not a guarantee. It's not a universal promise. You need to know that it's not. It's just a general. It's a general moral and all those things, but it's not a promise that when you train the child with a lot of ministers of the gospel, a lot of people that parent that they are godly, they are goodly, they are godly and goodly, but their child are not okay. And you see some people, they are not godly, they are not goodly, their children are faithful. So everything you want to do, put it in the hands of God and support it with prayer. And I pray all our children will be faithful and be useful unto God. In Jesus' mighty name we have prayed. Tomorrow we look at another Bible verse that many people are misinterpreting, and then we also elaborate and do the exegesis. God bless you. God be with you. Kindly comment and put your comment down. If you have questions, help us to share, help us to like. Shalom, shalom, and shalom.